Do you ever wake up in the morning full of dreams and goals, but by the end of the day, you've accomplished absolutely nothing? You've got ambition, big ideas, big dreams, but somehow laziness keeps pulling you back. If that sounds like you, trust me, you're not alone. In fact, you might be ambitious, but lazy. And today, we're going to break down what that really means, and most importantly, how you can escape this trap. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers before the end of this year, and with your help, we can make it happen. And hey, if you have any questions while listening, drop them in the comments below. Also, I'd love to know which part of today's episode hits you the hardest. Which part is your favorite? Let me know in the comments.
Part 1. Defining the problem. You see, ambition is like a fire. It burns inside of you, whispering about the life you could live, the success you could have, the person you could become. But laziness? Laziness is the blanket you wrap yourself in, instead of getting up and chasing that fire. Now, some people think being lazy means you don't care. That's not true. If you're listening to this podcast, you do care. You want more. You dream of success, impact, freedom, or maybe even just proving to yourself that you can do it. But here's the catch. You want it, but you don't always act on it. You plan, but you don't execute. You dream, but you don't move. And this gap between your ambition and your actions, that's where frustration grows. That's where self-doubt creeps in. Sound familiar? Let's break this down. Part 2. Why we're ambitious but lazy. Why does this happen? Why do ambitious people struggle with laziness more than others? Well, psychology has some answers. Let's talk about 3 big ones. Perfectionism. Sometimes you're not lazy, you're scared. Scared to fail, scared to be judged, scared to put out something less than perfect. So instead of starting, you procrastinate. Overwhelm. Ambitious people dream big, but big dreams can be intimidating. You look at the mountain and think, there's no way I can climb that. So you sit at the bottom, doing nothing. Instant gratification. Let's be real. Netflix, TikTok, Instagram, they're easier than starting a business, learning a skill, or writing that book. Laziness isn't always about being tired. It's about choosing short-term comfort over long-term reward. And here's the ironic part. Ambitious people know they're capable of more. That's why it hurts so much when laziness wins.
Part 3. The cost of staying lazy. Let's get real for a second. What happens if you stay stuck in this cycle? You wake up year after year, and your dreams remain dreams. Your goals stay on paper. The gap between the life you want and the life you live keeps getting wider. You start telling yourself stories like, I'll start tomorrow. Maybe I'm just not that type of person. Other people have more discipline than me. But deep down, you know the truth. It's not about ability, it's about consistency. And let me tell you something important. Your future self is watching. 10 years from now, you'll either thank yourself or regret yourself. The choice is being made today in the small actions or the lack of them. Part 4. Shifting the mindset. So how do we shift from ambitious but lazy to ambitious and disciplined? First, you have to stop waiting for motivation. Motivation is like the weather. It comes and goes. If you only work when you feel motivated, you'll stay stuck. Instead, you need to rely on systems, routines, and identity. A system makes things easier. For example, if you want to write every morning, put your notebook on your pillow before bed. That way, you can't miss it. A routine builds momentum. Small, consistent actions matter more than big bursts of energy. And most importantly, identity. Stop saying, I'm lazy. Start saying, I'm the type of person who follows through. Because the story you tell yourself becomes the reality you live. Part 5. Small steps beat big dreams. Ambition makes us think we need to take giant leaps, but progress actually comes from tiny steps. Here's a trick. Break your ambition down into ridiculous, laughably small steps. Want to read more? Tell yourself to read 1 page a day. Want to exercise? Tell yourself to do 1 push-up. Want to build a business? Spend 5 minutes a day brainstorming. Sounds silly, right? But here's the thing. Action creates momentum. That 1 page often turns into 10. That 1 push-up turns into 20. That 5 minutes turns into an hour. Laziness loses its power when you shrink the task. Part 6. Practical hacks to beat laziness. Let's get tactical. Here are 7 proven hacks to outsmart your lazy side. Number 1, the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself you'll only work for 5 minutes. Most times, you'll keep going. Number 2, public accountability. Tell a friend or post online what you're going to do. Pressure works. Number 3, reward system. Promise yourself a small reward after finishing a task. Number 4, environment design. Remove distractions. Make the good choice the easy choice. Number 5, time blocking. Schedule tasks like appointments. If it's on your calendar, it's real. Number 6, track progress. Use a journal or app. Seeing results motivates action. Number 7, remember your why. Write down why you started. Read it every time laziness whispers in your ear. Remember, discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up more often than not.
Part 7, personal story, relatability. Let me share something personal. There was a time in my life when I had huge dreams. I wanted to build something meaningful, to succeed, to grow. But every day, I'd sit there scrolling, binge watching, telling myself tomorrow. Months passed. Nothing changed. One day, I realized I was living in the gap between my ambition and my action, and it was eating me alive. So I started small, just 10 minutes a day, just 1 task at a time. And you know what? Slowly, things changed. I built momentum. I built habits. And eventually, I built results. And that's what I want for you too. Part 8, motivation to action. Here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Start small. Start messy. Start scared. But start. Because your ambition is a gift. But if you never act on it, it becomes a burden. And I promise you this. Action, even the smallest action, feels 1,000,000 times better than sitting in regret. So let me ask you, are you ambitious but lazy? Or are you ready to break free? If this episode gave you even one idea, one push, one spark, then take action on it today. And hey, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and every single one of you makes a difference. Also, drop your thoughts in the comments. If you have a question, let me know. And tell me, which part of today's episode was your favorite? I'd love to read your answers. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, ambition is your fire, but discipline is your fuel. Keep moving forward, and I'll see you in the next episode.